Okay, so we're actually going to get started in about 5 minutes, but with all the problems that I've had in the past to work, I just wanted to get in here 5 minutes and get all of my tech stuff organized. So bear with me. This is like, you mill about, get your seat, get your cup of tea, whatever it is that you want, and we're going to get started at 8 o'clock. So just a couple more minutes, and figure out these little side buttons and things that are going on here. So just puttering around, getting my bits and pieces in place. We'll get set in about 3 minutes. One of these days I'll have an assistant that can take care of all this stuff for me, and I'm just focused in on presenting. But until then, you get to have me multitasking. All right. So we got 1 minute, and then we're going to go officially live. I'm suspecting that there's something wrong with the links because I don't see it. Well, to do the best we can. Okay. So we're going to get started here. Welcome to the latest installment of the Powerful Practitioner series that I have running. Some of these webinars are free and some of them are paid. Always looking to bring you some great content and information in them to help you to build your practice that you would like to see, one that is successful to what you define as successful. So just a couple of things I want to mention. One, as you can hear, I'm just getting over a bronchial infection. So this is the tail end of it, and you'll have to excuse me. I'm not 100% up to par, but I'm going to do my absolute best here to bring you some great content and answer your questions if people actually make it on here. So Yeah, so it's been fun doing these Google Hangouts. I've had interesting challenges with technology every single time. So there's always something different, and you know, it's all about just rolling with it, um, and and doing the best we can. So I want to bring your attention to the chat box, which should be on the right-hand side of your screen. You can put in questions, comments during the webinar, and let me know, things. You can even let me know if there's tech issues, if you can't hear me, or you need to speak louder, or anything like that. Feel free to put that in the chat box. If you were here just before I got started, I am handling all ends of this webinar, so there's a little bit of multitasking that goes on with this. So I want you just to be aware that there may be some lags while I, check something on the computer, or yeah, do those kinds of things. So with all of that taken care of, I want to talk about, just first of all, what are we going to do tonight? So, like I said, the Powerful Practitioner series is all about giving you that you can grow a practice that works for you. And tonight, the topic is taking the slime out of sales. I had a few people who said that it was a very humorous subject line. So I wanted to make it fun, because those of you who know me, that's really my style. I don't want to be dry and boring. I love to make my workshops fun, bring in some humor, have some play with it. And, people actually learn better when you're having fun than when it's dry and boring. So we want to make sales enjoyable and that works. And a big part of that is taking out the stigmas and the stereotypes and the mindset that most people have when it comes to sales. And the reality is that all of you are in sales. Like it or not, you have to sell your business, your services at some point in time, and pretty much all the time. So getting to this place where you're comfortable with the idea of selling is a really good place to get to, right? So that's what I want to look at tonight, is that whole piece around the mindset, shifting your mindset around sales to be able to look at it as a service, as opposed to sales. So we want to shift that over, get you into that place of being of service to your clients by offering them the products and services that you have. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for tonight, and it will be a better webinar if you guys are able to, put in some questions, ask me what's what's up for you, what your particular issues are, and hopefully the technology is going to work for us tonight. So with that, let me tell you a little bit about me. So who am I doing this? Where's with my background? I know a lot on this tonight. You already know me, and that's great. Bear with me. Let me go this for the new people, okay? So if you don't know me, I have been a registered massage therapist for 22 years now. So I have a good background in actually building my own practice, but also managing a clinic. At one point, I had 5 therapists working with me, 2 locations, and all of the management that goes with that. So I learned a lot in that process. One of them being that I really prefer the coaching side of working with therapists, as opposed to having them as my subcontractors or employees. That's a format that really works for me. So it's good to get some clarity, and that's part of where these whole series come from too, is my love of seeing people grow their practice and do better, and feel good about what they're doing. Okay, so the other piece, of course, for those of you who know me, I do teach workshops in postgraduate training. So things like hot stone massage, Thai hot stem, Thai stem facial, Indian head massage, and the latest addition that has been a ergonomics slash body mechanics course with some draping, because I've had so many requests for it in my workshops, people wanting more of that, and I just see it so much. So we've added that on. That's a fun course for me to teach now. And I also run a supply store, so primarily targeted to the massage therapists, but we also service a lot of other holistic therapists as well. So we have, you know, our own line of lotions and oils and disposable headrest covers and sheets and all those. So if you know of anybody, send them my way. All right? Okay. So that was a sales pitch. You didn't catch it. But the thing is that I don't come from a point of sales with it. It's about information. I'm just letting you know what's okay. And I hope that you can kind of start to see that in what I do. I've always been about that with my sales process. So when I have somebody that comes into the store and they're asking about products, I'm really engaging with them and finding out what is it that they really need. You know, what's going to work for them. Okay, as opposed to I want to sell some product, it's what's going to work for them. And I often turn people away from buying it when I find out what it is that I want to do with it. And if it doesn't fit for that product, then I will steer them away from it, move them on to something else, or, you know, buy it at all. Because my point of view on this is that I come from this place of service first, and the sales will line themselves up later. They'll take care of themselves. And that mindset, that way of dealing with customers has always led me to more sales and more referrals. And it's been easy. You know, my business with the store in particular at this point is pretty much word of mouth. I have the emails that I do, a little bit of Facebook for marketing, and word of mouth. And so we continue to grow based on that. And I think that speaks very highly of how I've built the sales around service. So serving my clients, okay? And if I don't tell them, they won't know. So it's actually, again, it's that service. And I'm telling them about it, but in a way that's fun and light and exciting, it becomes that service, right? I'm not pushing them. I'm not expecting them to buy it. I'm just inviting them and saying, hey, did you know we also have this? This is going on, and, you know, get excited about different things, and that leads to more sales. Okay, so one of the things that that I would love for people to do is to start to enter into the sidebar the things that you think of when you think about selling, when you think about being a salesman. What are the words or the concepts or the phrases that kind of come to your mind from that? And I'm just realizing that we actually are still showing 0 viewers. So obviously there is a glitch here. I'm going to keep broadcasting, and I apologize to all of you who took it on live and it didn't work for whatever reason, or the link didn't go. Another tech glitch. This is so fun. So, so some of the things that I hear from people is, you know, they don't want to be seen as that slimy salesperson, the used car salesperson, you know, talking people into something that they don't need or want. And there's just the idea that, well, people will think that I'm just in it for the money. I'm only asking them to every book because I need more money, right? And these are your internal gremlins, okay? And you need to recognize that it's the voices in your head are your internal gremlins, and they're not real, okay? Because in fact, when you shift it around and you come from that place where you're really having fun with it and you're excited to share something that's going on, and you have no attachment to whether they buy or not, then they don't see it as sales. They just see it as you having fun. That's the fun thing, right? So it's the voices in our head, the gremlins, that are going to keep you from actually asking for the sale, or telling people about something new that you're offering, right? It's those voices that say, no, you shouldn't, they're not interested, they're never going to want to buy. You know those voices. They just creep up all the time, and it's something new, then they're even louder, right? Okay, so with dealing with that, I want you to know that it is possible to get past those gremlins. Okay, your first thing that you want to realize is that the gremlins are not real. They don't tell you the truth. Okay, those are thoughts that have just been rolling around, rolling around. You may have even picked them up from other people, but they're not real. And I'm sure you've experienced this, where you've thought something that turned out really badly, and then it turns out nothing like that. So all that angst that you create because of what you're imagining it's going to be is nothing like what it actually is, right? It's the gremlins. They tell you lies because they don't want you to move out of that comfort zone. They want to keep you in and small, right? So they're going to tell you all kinds of lies to stop you from stepping up, stop you taking the risk, okay? So realize that's what their job is. Their job is to keep you from stepping out of your comfort zone. All right, so now that you know what their job is, now it's going to be easier to recognize when the negative thoughts come in. It's like, okay, you need to catch yourself. Oh, is that a gremlin? Right, that's a gremlin. Okay, sorry, dude, you're fired. Exit stage left. All right, and you keep doing that. Just keep reminding yourself, when those gremlins come up, when the voices show up, you got to keep kicking the gremlins to the curb. You got to get them off your bus, or even get out of a bus and drive a vehicle that they don't fit in, right? So it's a bit of diligence, but what you want to do is you want to stretch yourself a little bit to force those gremlins to come out, okay? And there's a great couple of ways that you can work with this. If you've been in some of the webinars before, you know some of the tools I teach, but I think for this webinar, we're going to just focus in on some really basic core principles that you're going to start to play with, okay? And what I like people to start with when you're fighting your gremlins or firing your gremlins is to challenge it, okay? Take a piece of paper, write down all the lies that they're telling you, okay? And then each one, you're going to challenge it or give it the flip, right? Write down what is actually true. Some are saying they'll never buy. Well, the truth is you don't know because you haven't asked. See? So it's flip it around. Okay, fire that gremlin. We don't need you anymore. Okay? If the gremlin says, oh, you're asking too much money. Okay, money's not a relative piece to look at, right? When people want to spend money on something, they'll find the money for it. Okay, I've seen people, say no to a $2,000 program and then turn around and spend $5,000 on a facelift. So it's not that they don't have money. They may say that, but so often people will say that they don't have the money because they're not comfortable with saying no. Okay? So when you get that objection of, I don't have the money, I want you to flip that around to hearing them say, I'm afraid to tell you no. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Okay? Next time you hear somebody say, I don't have the money, what they're actually possibly saying is, I don't want to hurt your feelings. So they care about you, okay? So now when you hear that, you can actually feel good about it because you know that they care, okay? Kind of a way to play with that mind shift, okay? This is what I'm talking about, just taking all of those thoughts, ideas, challenging them, turning them around. What's really true? Because if you start challenging them and turning them around, you're gonna feel differently of the situation, all right? And you've got to stick with it. This is something that the gremlins are going to keep coming up, and so you're going to have to keep challenging them and keep firing them. It's like, recognize, no, that's not real, that's not real, that's not real. I don't accept any of that, okay? So if you're willing to play with that, we can really blast out these gremlins. So you're going to write down the negative thoughts, those gremlin thoughts that are coming up, and you're going to challenge it. You're going to put down the truth for each one of those, right? Or what you would like to be the truth if you can't think. So just put those down and then, be aware of it. Cross out, and then you're left with the truth on the page, okay? If you do this a few times, what you're going to find is that then it's going to start to become easier to engage that process just mentally. But at first, I find that if you're just beginning, it is really helpful to start writing it down, okay? And then later, just like, okay, that's not real. I don't choose to accept that. See ya, moving on, okay? And then start to get the imprint of like, what is real? What's maybe true here that I haven't looked at before, okay? Asking questions is a really, really good tool for getting you to shift your mindset, okay? So we'll take the sales process. You want to offer your product or service to somebody, and what comes up is the gremlin of like, oh, they won't let it in anyway, they're just gonna say no. And you gotta like, okay, stop. No, none of that is true. I don't know what they're gonna say until I actually ask. So I'm gonna ask anyway. And then move forward and ask. Okay? Take a deep breath and ask. And then the gremlins are gonna come up again. Oh, see, I told you, they said no. Da, 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 right? Okay, ask the questions. Is that even true? Okay, so you get that negative thought come up of, oh, they'll just say no anyway. You can like, what if that wasn't true? What else? What if they did say yes? Right? And you start to play with it and you open it up instead of saying they'll just say no, which of course is like a big stopping point, up against a wall. You open it up to, what if they did say yes? Or what's the worst thing that could happen? Right? The worst thing that could happen is they say no. Are you any worse off? No. You've at least practiced the sale. And then the next time, you'll get better at it. And you're at it, you'll get better at it. So keep going with this. Okay? All right. So those are a couple of really good tools. So you're going to play with writing it down and challenging it and asking questions. Okay, so those are your two big pieces for changing your mindset. And then specifically around asking for the sale, I think really the biggest thing is just the gremlins. So we've got to get them out, get them going. But the other thing to look at is that, where do you need more information? Do you need to learn more about product or service? Do you need to learn how to actually get your wording so that it'll come across more effectively? Those kinds of things. You want to look at all of that and say, okay, is there something that I need to be changing or tweaking so that my sale will actually be more effective, right? who do I need to be for them? And you could maybe, imagine what, what you want to be for them, what energy you want to be for them. I know that sounds kind of woo-woo, but it's like step into it. It's like, who can I be for them? What service can I be for them? And when you come from that place, again, it shifts the mindset over to that place of service instead of salesy or pushy, right? It's no longer about money, and so I'm going to ask them for the sale. It's what do they need? What's in their best interest, right? And I'm sure for all of you, with whatever you do, you do come from a place of service. And I like to step that up and just say, it's okay to tell people what a great service that you offer. And it's okay to pat yourself on the back, because the reality is no one else is going to do it for you. So you kind of have to. And if you stand there and go, well, yeah, I do massage and I'm okay at it, so do you want to book with me? Like, seriously? Anybody's actually going to book with that? No. But if you're there and, you give them a bit of that energy of who you are as a massage therapist, for example, or whatever practice you do, and you're talking to them and you say, yeah, I get so excited about helping my clients to feel better. I can work with somebody and I can get rid of their back pain in 3 or 4 sessions. Oh my goodness, that is so much fun for me. That is just really rewarding. That's what I do this for. So if you've got something going on, I would love to be able to help you. Okay. You see how it's a totally different mindset. It comes across. I'm just telling them a story about how excited I get about what I do, right? And it instills that confidence for people, what you do and who you are, right? So play with it. You're going to want to practice a little bit with what you say, so that when you go to say it, you're not stumbling around looking for the words. What did I want to say next? That it can flow. It can be more natural. It can be real, authentic. Okay. So I'm starting to get the sense that my voice is going to give out on me very soon. And although I was really hoping some more people were going to come in with questions and things, we can maybe do a follow-up call where people can send me the questions ahead of time and I can cover those. So, and before my voice gives out, we want to just wrap it up to, yet again, another reminder for you on the tools. Okay. So we talked about taking all of those thoughts that you have rolling around your head, write them down, and then go through them one at a time and challenge each one. Find the truth in it, because the stuff that the gremlins are telling you is a big fat lie. And just know that it's a big fat lie. Okay. And then you're going to play with asking questions for a mind shift. Okay. Again, it's a way of challenge, but it's a way of doing it inside. It's like, is that even true? What if it's not true? What if they did say yes? Those are things, right? Something to open it up. So keep playing with those. Let me know if you have questions. And as always, feel free to visit our website, wholebodyhealing.com, and check out our list of workshops and supplies and upcoming dates and fun things that are going on. If you're not on our email list, then do make sure that you get added in on there. You can go to our website and sign up for the newsletter, and that will add you onto our e-list. Sorry, I'm really starting to lose it here. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again on the next segment of our Powerful Practitioner series. Have fun.